For
Imagine that.
for Jahmyr Gibbs, look, I think this is this. I think people are really. It's almost a similar situation last year as it is this year. For me, a lot of people got really high on Jahmyr Gibbs. They forgot that David Montgomery was signed to a decent contract there, and he fits exactly what this offense is looking for. I worry it's not about the talent with Jahmyr Gibbs. It's about the fact that the offensive identity, this team, for what it's worth, like they were third in the first half and third in the second half for run rate. So the most amount of rushes that they had in the first and the second half, they ranked third in both halves. Like, this is a team that wants to ground and pound. They didn't really add many pass catchers, so I think their identity is going to stay similar as a ground and pound team. And I'm not saying Jahmyr Gibbs can't be that guy, but if I had to push my chips into the table, I would put my money that David Montgomery. Not that it matters that much, but I think he's going to be out there probably on the offense for the first snap, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be on the sidelines. And I just worry. I understand that, and I know Anthony made a comment before we jumped on about, Montgomery down the stretch, was kind of touchdown dependent, but we saw him on the field. In the last game of the season, he only had 10 points in PPR, but it was the last game of the season. They weren't really playing for anything. I don't remember. They may have been playing for seeding. I don't exactly.
I don't think they were. I don't know. I think at that point, I think the seeding was done.
Yeah. So I think he was. I don't think he was on the field
in Washington.
Yeah. So I'm just going with my gut here. I like Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he's talented. It has nothing to do with that. Jahmyr Gibbs is my running back 9 this year. That's where I have him. I really, unless they use him in the slot and they have both guys on the field because they didn't add much to the pass catching room. I don't know. I'm not as high on Jahmyr Gibbs as a lot of people are.
By the way, Mike, you'll like this. Yankees up 3-0 on the Phillies.
Oh, I do like that. Oh, always of the Phillies losing. It's always a good time.
Judge with another homer. Go ahead.
Oh, well, shocker. Anthony, Pete did name drop you as far as before we went on the air talking about David Montgomery. So I will pose this to you about Jahmyr Gibbs being our 7th running back here. What says you?
I have Gibbs as my 7. I'm fine with him there. Now, to Montgomery, from week 13 to week 18, fewer than 12.5 PPR points in all but one of those games. So we did see Gibbs kind of take a stranglehold over this backfield down the stretch. But Montgomery's still going to get his work. That's the issue. That's why I can't draft Gibbs any higher, and that's why Gibbs could potentially fall. I think that's the sweet spot for me. Is this 7 mark? Very good player. But I would like him a lot more if David Montgomery was there. Even if Montgomery saw a significant regression touches, he's still going to be there on the goal line. And that's what worries me. This Lions defense is expected to improve. What does that mean? The Lions may not be playing from behind. They're going to run more. If you are grinding clock in the fourth quarter, in the 4-minute drill, that's David Montgomery's number, not Gibbs's number. We also have to factor in Jameson Williams getting a lot of hype, full off season, healthy, no suspensions. Does that add another dynamic over the top passing game? But we also saw JMO take some handoffs. So he's a little bit of a gadget player as well. So there's a lot of factors here. I'm not completely fading Gibbs. I'm just not as high on him as the consensus.
Okay. Yeah. Steve, do you have any quick thoughts on Gibbs? Then we'll move on to ETN.
Yeah, Gibbs to me is, man, he's so freaking talented, and the offensive line is just ridiculous there. So I understand the Montgomery thing. I think that was more of a last year thing with the value with Montgomery. Sure. I think this year you got to go after Gibbs just because the upside. And I understand there's still other weapons in the way there, but the Lions are going to use him more in the passing game this year. We saw that in the playoffs down the stretch, and he's just juking guys left and right. And I remember just watching one of those playoff games. I'm like, Gibbs is a 1st-round pick for me, so I got to stick with that. This guy, to me, he's like one of the next upcoming backs in the league to be one of the best backs in the league. So I'm betting on talent. The situation, but isn't great, but still a great offense, great offensive line. So something happens to Montgomery, God forbid, Gibbs could just absolutely take off.